speaking of search engines, looking for things, trying to find stuff, why don't you give us a rundown, recap slash inside look on what it was like to acquire Beyonce tour tickets? For those who don't know, for those who are not Beyonce fans, she has announced a world tour and she's doing it a little bit differently. You got to jump through some extra hoops. You got to go through some additional processes. You got to go to different websites. You can't just go, well, eventually you do go to Ticketmaster and purchase them. But before that, you got to do some other verification processes online websites. So tell us a little bit about that process and if you were successful or not.
It was a very traumatic experience. Buying
Traumatic. Okay.
traumatic.
Okay.
Buying any type of concert ticket is always kind of, time consuming. Even before this, getting Beyonce tickets, it was a group effort and you had multiple devices and tickets normally go on sale at 10 a.m. So you had to be online at 9, have all your devices set up at 9:30. So when you click that refresh, you were good to go. And that was
S-
work.
Similar to buying an iPhone,
Mhm.
similar to buying some sneakers. You got to be
Sneakers.
on top
Right.
of it.
Right.
Hmm.
So, Ticketmaster has pretty much a monopoly on the ticket buying process.
Hmm.
They were called to Congress um, earlier this year, I believe, after a debacle with Taylor Swift and her fans trying to buy tickets through Ticketmaster. So, again, Beyonce hasn't toured in like 6 years, I think. So of course, and she had a big album. So it was like, oh my God, the world is giving us a gift, for those of us who like Beyonce and love going to concerts. And so when it first came live, the website tour.beyonce.com. Everybody was
Okay.
freaking out. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So it listed all the dates, all the
Hmm.
cities,
Hmm.
all the stadiums, and on the side of each location, it had a little button. First, it said, I think, register or click here or something. And then people were sending screenshots. And I went to the website. I didn't see that. I just saw the word soon. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what that means. Then that next day, the soon changed to register. So you
Hmm.
see the city you want to go to the show in, you click on the register, it takes
So
you to,
before you get any further, let me
uh,
ask a couple questions. Well, just one
okay.
question. What was your process for in real time learning or being alerted or notified when things change? Like you mentioned, the website going from uh, just going live to listing the tour dates to actually knowing or finding out that you had to register, and then the how did you know or what was your process for finding out when it went from coming soon to being able to register? Was there an alert where you
No,
just had to be sitting there all day? Give
it
us
was
that
Twitter.
process.
It was
Oh, it
Twitter.
was Twitter.
So
Okay. All
there are
right.
fan sites who are, if you go on Twitter, there's like a Rihanna daily, it's the Beyonce daily. So all
Mm-hmm.
of these artists have these fan sites that are daily sites and they update what's going on with them daily. Whether
Mm-hmm.
the artists themselves are producing anything, they go and just kind of do content. And the way that I found out about the tour was Instagram. The
Mm-hmm.
way I found out about because I thought I was tripping because I saw the guy post one screenshot and I was like, I went to the website. I don't see those buttons on my side. I see different buttons. So it's really crowdsourced on
Okay.
Twitter, the information.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you click on,
So you think do you think this is by design, or do you just think that's what you got to do in order to get the ticket, in order to assure yourself that you got the best chance of getting tickets, or do you think this is just
I don't think
that
it's by
is?
design. I
Oh,
think
you
she
think they
just
planned it? Okay.
I know,
Okay.
I don't think they planned. I think honestly, the icons changing, I think that was
Hmm.
back end stuff because at one point,
Okay.
before it all went live, I don't know, me and my, I used, there were rumors that
Okay.
started the day before the tour was announced. Oh my God, the tour dates are coming, blah, 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 because she posted an image, about the tour, but she didn't say anything else about it.
Hmm.
So nobody knew when the actual dates were coming. So people kind of stalked the site And so you went to the site was blank. And it was like, okay, so they must be updating it. And so then it's just those things of people posting on Twitter, and then you go into the website yourself to see what's going on. And that's where I saw the difference. I'm like, this guy's screenshot doesn't look like what's on my screen. I was like, oh crap, did I miss it? What happened? So it's just, she's known for just putting stuff out there and then going about her business and letting you
Which is smart.
peasants figure it out.
Well, which is smart because you want to create
Buzz.
panic, not just
And that's what it
buzz.
was.
You want to create scarcity. You want to create panic to where
Yeah.
it's like, if I am not where I'm supposed to be, if I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, if I haven't followed the instructions, I'm going to miss it. And there's
Yeah.
no better way to get people to do whatever you want better than creating scarcity and
Yeah.
creating panic.
Yeah. Yeah. So you click on the register for whatever your city is. You go to a Live Nation screen,
Mm-hmm.
and the tour is broken down to keep out bots and people just snapping up the tickets, which I
Mm-hmm.
think this part was smart. I just think the way it was handled was unnecessary. But it's like a group A, group B, and group C. So group
Okay.
A is
Like
like the first leg.
Southwest.
Yeah. Group A is the first leg of the tour. So it lists all of the cities in
Uh-huh.
that group, and
Uh-huh.
you register, but you
Right.
couldn't register or buy tickets for groups B and C, which were the middle part of the tour and the end
Mm-hmm.
part of the tour,
Mm-hmm.
until after group A. So it's
Right.
one of those things where it's like you don't have all these bots, going just snapping up all the tickets in all the cities. You only have the sliver of time
Mm-hmm.
for group
Mm-hmm.
A.
Mm-hmm.
So you click on, they have three pre-sales that you could do. And doing the registering doesn't guarantee you a ticket. It just
Mm-hmm.
guarantees you're in the queue. So they had
Mm-hmm.
like a Beyhive pre-sale, they had a city pre-sale, which I'm still mad at Amex that they didn't like come in and do that.
So are you a car carrying Beehive fan?
So I am a Beyhive member
Uh-huh.
because I've bought tickets to shows of
Okay.
hers before.
So
And so
is there like a, in addition to that, is there like a membership Beehive? I
no.
don't know what to call it. Is there,
It's just your
okay,
email. It's just like if you buy stuff through her website
through a
or if you
website?
buy tickets, yeah, it's just your
Okay.
email. It's just
All
your
right.
email. And
Got
the
you,
thing
got you,
with the
got you.
Beyhive is you couldn't register for the Beyhive pre-sale if you weren't already a member. So if someone said, "Hey, there's a Beyhive pre-sale, let me go sign up," you
Let
couldn't.
you go buy something too late.
Yeah.
You got it already
Mm-mm.
been. Okay.
You had to already be. So then they had the Beyhive pre-sale, they had the Citibank pre-sale, and then they had the verified fan Ticketmaster pre-sale. You could
Hmm.
only register
For one.
for one. And so that happened on last week. And so after you click the register, you got a confirmation email saying you are registered for the Beyhive presale, for the Ticketmaster presale, for the Citibank, whichever one you were. And then
Hmm.
the message says, be on the lookout Sunday
Hmm.
for your code. And
Okay.
again, they said this doesn't guarantee that you will get
Jesus
a
Christ, man.
ticket. So
So
everybody's like
this is
refreshing.
the first time. So this is the first time where they give you a time and a date.
Right. This is the
Okay.
first time that this has happened. So if you were a Ticketmaster person, you would get an email.
Hmm.
If you were a Beyhive person, you get a text and a link and a
Hmm.
code.
Hmm.
So Sunday night, everybody's, because people watching the Grammys, they're trying to keep an eye on their email. Then you get an email that says it's coming. I got an email that says you're waitlisted. And I'm like, what
Okay.
the hell that mean?
Uh-huh.
I'm like, I don't waitlisted. What
Right.
is a
How am I
waitlist?
already waistlisted for something I ain't signed up for yet?
Right. So basically, when you signed up, when you registered, you put yourself in a lottery.
Okay.
And
A
it's like if
lottery.
they
Good
it's a
Lord, man.
lottery. So it's like if your name is pulled, then you get a code. And
Okay.
so it was three of us in a group chat trying to get tickets, me, my brother, and my cousin's wife, who's my cousin
Hmm.
now. We were in a group chat. So we all registered for Atlanta. And then I was we were talking, was like, should we go ahead and register for the other cities? Because there's a time on those as well. I'm like, well, does that mean if we register for the other cities, does it cancel out our first
Yeah,
one?
buddy. Those are
So it was just like,
questions.
I don't know.
Important
So it's like,
questions.
let's just go with this
Uh huh. Uh
first
huh.
one and kind of
Uh
see
huh.
how it plays out.
Right.
So the tickets go on sale on Monday, this past Monday at 2 p.m.
Okay.
Still no code, still no code, still
You're
no
still
code,
waitlisted at this point.
still waitlisted. So then my brother texts me. He's like, oh my God, I got a code. He was like, what do I do?
You better buy as
Because
many tickets as you possibly can.
so then you have to put it into context finances. Can you afford to buy all the
Man, you ain't got
tickets
time
on
for
yours
that.
at the one?
Look,
And
you ain't got
so
time for all that. Just pull
so
the trigger.
then so then he was like, I was like, well, give me, he was like, well, can't you just put the code in your Ticketmaster? I'm like, no, it won't work that way. She
Because
said, Ticketmaster said,
it's
is
tied to
linked to
your
an
email.
ID.
Yeah.
So, and it's a link is specific to you. So I had to sign out of my Ticketmaster, log into
As
Ticketmaster as
him.
him,
Right. To
and
do
click
it.
the link. So
Uh-huh.
he's
Uh-huh.
at work. He goes outside because he was like, he couldn't even go into his office
Listen,
because
man,
he
I would
was
have
like,
took
it
the
was too
day
many
off.
people.
I would have took the day off. There was the iPhone 14 when that came out or came to Verizon. I was like, I ain't coming in today.
But yeah, so he was like, people were coming up to, so he went, he stepped outside. He was like, I just need, and people were still trying to come talk. He was like, look, I'm trying to get Beyonce tickets. Leave me alone. They're like, oh my God, okay, we'll leave you. So you click the code. We weren't sure if this was going to work. So I was like, okay, let me click the link because he sent me the text. I was like, I don't know, can you forward the text? Will that still work? I don't know. Because in the text, it had his email blacked out.
Mm-hmm.
It had like the first letter
Mm-hmm.
of his email and the last letter of his email at whatever, but everything in the middle was starred. So it was like
Mm-hmm.
it's preventing people from hijacking it or whatever because you
Right.
don't know what the full email is. So it
Right.
was very secure. So click on the link and then it pulls up the lobby. And I was like, okay, we're in the lobby. And then he was like, okay, click next. I click next. He was like, oh my God, we're in the queue. And then it was like, it's 15 people in front of you, 7 people in front of you, one person in front of you. It's your turn. And so now we're kind of freaking out. And it's like, oh my God.
Just
So
pick something.
so we go in and
Uh-huh.
he was like, is it loading? I was like, oh my God, it's loading, it's loading. Then bam, the tickets show up.
Mm-hmm.
So Ticketmaster is shady as hell.
Okay.
So when it opened up, I had selected 3 tickets
Mm-hmm.
and it was like, there are no tickets that match your description or your
Mm-hmm.
filter.
All
And
right.
so I did down to 2. Then all it showed me were like the
Nosebleeds.
the VIP
Oh,
sections.
okay. The high
So
end
it was
stuff.
showing me the $1,400 seats. And I think
Mm-hmm.
there's like a place where you can sit on stage that was
Right.
like 3,500.
So let me ask you this before
Mm.
you go any further. Did you have a threshold of what you were willing to pay and what you weren't, or did you just like, I'm just gonna figure it out?
I really didn't have a threshold, but one of the 3 of us did. So we kind of want to stay within that.
Okay.
So yeah, so I'm like, oh my, he's on the phone, I'm on the phone, and I'm freaking out. I'm like, there's nothing left. It's only the VIP left. And so then I clicked on the screen and I changed the view. I took off the filter. I was like, don't give me no filter because all Ticketmaster initially put up were the packages. They were trying to force you
Get
into
people to
thinking
spend more money. That's the
into
only thing that's
thinking,
left. Yep.
into thinking that's the only thing left. And I'm like, man, are we screwed? Because I'm not paying this. This is
Mm-hmm.
insane. And
Mm-hmm.
so I took off the filter and I switched the view to the actual stadium. And when I
Mm-hmm.
started clicking on the sections, I
Mm-hmm.
started seeing the blue dots. The blue
They
dots
got you.
represents
Right.
these.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, look at this. I was like,
Uh-huh.
these suckers, they are really trying to scam Ticketmaster.
Mm-hmm.
Count your freaking days because it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
And so then the next stressful thing was, okay, where do we want to sit? We had an idea of where we wanted to sit and the view that we wanted. So I'm zooming in, zooming in. I go to click on the seats. I say, oh, I see 3. I go to click on them. They disappeared in an instant. So
Damn,
then I was like, let me go to
that
another
is
section.
crazy.
So I go to another section and I see some more, and I was like, let me click on. I clicked on one. By the time I clicked on one, the other two on the other side were gone. I'm like, God damn it. And I'm like, this is insane. So he was trying to text our other cousin about the price because it was a little bit above, it was $50 above the threshold. And I was like, so if she doesn't want to do the $50 over, we're gonna go and get the more expensive seats that were, because she had the
Because if
kind of
she's
the
already
credit,
out, ain't no sense of
right,
playing
of
around
missing,
on the little. Yeah,
right.
yeah,
But she
yeah.
was good with the the increase, the extra $50. So I was like,
Mhm.
okay, I got three. So I click three. And the thing is, you can't just click on it. You have to click each one, then click add. Click the button again, click add. And there's
Mhm.
these itty bitty 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 dots. Even when you try and zoom out, they're super
Uh-huh.
small.
Right.
So I was like, okay, I clicked them, add to cart, check out. I added my credit card to his account. Do you
Mhm.
want to use this card? Yes. Do you want to put in your what is it, the security code? Then
Mhm.
here go Amex, and then me a text. Is this you? Yeah, it's me. Go and approve that.
Man.
Click
Cause
final.
that has messed people up to where Amex is
Yes.
like, nah, you got to start over.
Get out of line. And so
Mhm.
then it starts spinning, and my we're like holding our breath. I was like, oh my God, it's going, it's going,
Mhm.
it's going. And then you get the glorious, your order is complete, the tickets get added to your wallet, and you're like, thank God. But the
But
thing is, we got Saturday tickets. I signed up for, because she added a second show. So her original
right.
show was only on that Friday, the 11th.
Mhm.
So I signed up for the Friday, and I didn't get a code. He signed
Mhm.
up for Saturday after she had announced it, after you'd already registered.
More
And
dates.
she added more dates. She's still adding more dates. I think she added a third LA show or something.
Mhm.
But all that to say, we got the tickets, but it was pretty insane. Like, I think I mentioned the other week, we wanted to do like a trip wrapped in a
Right.
show.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
So we
Mhm.
wanted to do Paris.
Mhm.
Girl, the international stuff is even
Worse.
more. Yeah, because they didn't, you couldn't pre-register for the international ones. So when you went to like register, it kept taking you back to the group A, group B, group C. I'm
Mhm.
guessing because I'm in the States, but I could still see the other shows. So the general tickets went on sale on Tuesday. And so I was like, let me just go and see what they have left. As soon as I clicked on there, I was 150,000th in the queue. There were 150,000 people ahead of me. And then
Mhm.
below, they had a message that said, look, the only tickets we got left
Right.
are package tickets. So platinum, bada bing, bada
Mhm.
bada. So basically the more expensive one. It's like,
Right.
if you want to stay in the queue with 150,000 people in
Just
front of
know
you,
when it's your turn,
just
you're gonna have to
know.
pay some ducats. Yeah.
Right. And then like I went today just to kind of see what the prices were. The prices for Paris were significantly lower. So,
Oh, were they?
oh my God, so much cheaper.
So
So
let me
the
ask you before you
cheapest
while you're
ticket,
looking it up, would it have helped to add some tech in here? Would it have helped if you had like a VPN to where you could fake a Paris address?
so I have VPN, and I
Mm-hmm.
still, well, I was doing it from my phone, but I still couldn't. Maybe I should try that. But even I still don't think that would have worked.
Okay.
I don't think the VPN would have worked because I'm trying to think if I saw, because I was like, and that was my thought. I was like, maybe I need to do VPN. I was like, let me look it up to see if any of that would have helped. I don't think it
Mm-hmm.
would have, because the
Okay.
tickets just went. I logged on at 9:45, and
Mm-hmm.
by the time I refreshed at 10, all the tickets were gone.
Damn. Dang.
So yeah. And I think because the price of the tickets for Paris, the cheapest ticket is 79 euro, and the
Mm-hmm.
most expensive ticket for, not on like the stage or whatever, is 200.
That's not
So
bad. That's not bad.
very reasonable.
And that's
And
pretty
so,
comparable to US dollars, maybe
yeah.
$2 or
Yeah, maybe
$5 more.
20. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so it was one of those things where only group A has tickets. So group B and group C haven't gone yet. So all of this drama is just
It's
with
just for
group
group
A.
A. Hmm, hmm,
Yeah.
hmm.
Because again, they're staggering the tickets. And
So go ahead.
so we were thinking about, because the thing was, if we can't get Atlanta tickets, let's try after we got the Atlanta pre-sale thing and we knew we were good and they updated like the FAQs and they said you
Uh-huh.
could register for
Another
each you could register
group.
for each group
Right.
if you wanted
Hmm.
to, but that wasn't clear in the beginning.
Hmm.
But Ticketmaster, being the shady boots that they are, it was supposed to be staggered registration, and the registration was supposed to close on the 11th for the
Hmm.
last of the groups. They closed them all at the same time as Group A. So even if you were, say, trying to get Group A tickets and you didn't, you
Hmm.
thought you had time to register for Group
And
B and
wait
Group
until the
C.
group B
Right.
starts. Uh-huh.
But no, they close it, even though I think the Group C tickets don't go on sale until February 16th. So it's
Hmm.
every week. So we had the 6th for Group A, and then 7 days after that, which is the what, the 11th, 6th, yeah, no, 13th, whatever the week after Monday is. Then
Hmm.
Group B, that's when they get their code to
Hmm.
buy them, and then the following week is Group C.
But you would already have had to have
Right,
registered for the groups. Now you
right,
can't register anymore. You just got to wait for your
right,
code.
right. So it's if you didn't if you didn't take the
The
smart
time
route
to
to.
register for all of them at the same time.
Right. But then at the
Hmm.
same time, it wasn't clear is that if
And
you
you didn't
register
know.
for multiple, if it would
Would they?
cancel out. So
Yeah, right, right, right,
so if
right.
you weren't located in one of those cities nearby, you wouldn't register for another group because you didn't know if registering for another group would cancel it out. So he's like,
So
this one is
so
closest to my house. So
right.
let me
Let me
just
just
go with
stick
mine and
here
cross my
versus trying
fingers.
to. Yeah, yeah. So
Right.
another piece of tech. Could you have used the iCloud hide my email function and created a spoof email that would forward to your Apple ID so you could use your real email for the city that you know you was going to go to?
Mhm.
And then of course you didn't know this, but hindsight,
Hindsight.
could could you have made a spoof of fake, not a fake, a forwarded email address to register Group B, and then make another one for Group C, so it wouldn't. So, like you said, the question of if you sign up for another one, would they kick you out of the first one? Maybe possibility would be to use hide my email,
Mm-mm. You
create a
couldn't
fake
use hide.
email.
You couldn't use hide my because for the pre-sale, it's linked for Beyhive. For the
Got
Beyhive
you,
pre-sale, it's
got
linked
you.
to your Beyhive email.
That
For
you
the
use in the
Ticketmaster,
past. Got
for the
you.
Ticketmaster one, it's the login you use to log into
To
Ticketmaster.
Ticketmaster. So you'd
Right.
already have had to done that with the
Right.
fake ID. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right.
Got you.
Right.
Yeah.
So
So go
I
ahead.
get why they did what they did. They were trying
Mhm.
to help the fans, but it was so much lack of clarity
Pandemonium.
around. No, it wasn't even that, because it's always going to be pandemonium. It, for me, it was a lack of clarity. Like, had
Right.
I known that I could register for one in each group, I would have done it because I was
Right.
already on the page. It's not
Right.
like it's that big of a deal, but
Right.
I wasn't sure. And then I was like, let me go to Twitter and see,
What people are doing.
what people are doing, what, the rules are, because the rules weren't clearly defined. And then you had to go to Live Nation to register, but
Hmm.
then you had to go to Ticketmaster
Hmm.
to actually purchase. So it was very chaotic,
Right.
and a lot of people, I didn't really see people posting that they got tickets
Hmm.
because a lot of people didn't get them.
Oh
They didn't
wow.
get they
Okay.
didn't get the code. And
Damn.
so again, out of 3 people
One
on
of
our
y'all
group
got it.
chat, me and my brother, all 3 of us registered. My
Hmm.
brother and I got waitlisted. Third person didn't get waitlisted, and then only my brother got the actual code.
Mm.
And so I know people I have relatives and friends in different cities that were trying to get them. They either never got the wait list or they never got the code. So one girl in Texas, she didn't get any of them. My cousin who's in Seattle, she didn't get she got the wait list, but she didn't get the code. So it's just people, it's just, I think it was truly an automated lottery based system
Mm-hmm.
where it
Random.
was just like we just put everybody in the blender and whatever pops out, that's what we go with.
So,
Because
go ahead.
when the tickets went on sale at 2, and we were like, well, tickets are going to sell out and we're going to be screwed. But my brother got the code at around 5 that there was still stuff left.
Okay.
So it's the thing of, he got the code like 3 hours after it started. But again, you have the Ticketmaster sale. So you have the Beyhive group. So that's
Mm-hmm.
those a lot of tickets. You have the
Mm-hmm.
Citibank group, those a lot of tickets. And then the Ticketmaster group, those a lot of tickets. So when it goes on sale general, it'll be whatever's left over from those 3 groups. So people could
Mm-hmm.
still get tickets
Right. Kind
based
of
on
like,
what's left over.
kind of like what I did for the HomePod, right? So, when they announced the HomePod, you most people pre-order. I usually just pre-order one. And
Mm,
again, first come, first serve. The faster you get on the website, the faster you can add it to your cart. And there's all these little tricks about pre-adding stuff to your cart, save it to your favorites, all these
mm,
things, right? You jump through all those hoops to do that. Then you pray that you get a ship date that's close to the launch date. So if it launches on Friday, hopefully you get in fast enough to where the UPS or FedEx will get to your house the same day. If not, they push the date back, push the date back, push the date back, right?
mm.
You can not deal with all that, which is what I did for this HomePod. I was like, no, I ain't even tripping on all that. I ain't doing all that. When when they hit the store shelves, I'm just gonna go to Apple and be like, I want a
Mhm.
HomePod. So when the Apple store opened up at 10 o'clock
You was
on
there.
Friday of last week, I was there, and they were like, "How can I help you?" I was like, "Yeah, I would like to buy one of those iPods. I mean, HomePods."
HomePods.
And they had one, and I just picked it up and left without dealing with all the rigmarole trying to pre-order and get ahead of
Mhm.
time. But the problem with that is you don't know. So it's
You
like,
taking a chance.
the brilliance of all of this is it you automatically guarantee that people are going to buy tickets as soon as they possibly can,
Mhm.
because you don't know, there's no dates when they tell you things are coming. You just got to be in the right place at the right time, and then you got to add some luck to it, and then you got to add some decisiveness, right? Because what you
Mhm.
can't be doing is, once you get the code and once you
You
get
can't be playing around.
you get into the lobby, you can't be, oh well, what if we sit here, or will we be able to see if we sit here, and I don't know
Mhm.
if I want to sit. Click, 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 click.
And honestly, we ended up, I like to either sit on the floor. I'm a seat snob, so I like to
Hmm.
sit on the floor depending on the view, or section 100.
Right.
So we ended up with section 200,
Hmm.
but we got straight shot onto the stage.
Okay.
So we have those kind of tickets in our back pocket, and when the general goes on sale, I'll go and look and see if there's anything
Anything
better.
closer, anything better.
Right. And
So
then
if
get
this
those
so
and then sell the
so you
200
bring up a
ones.
good point. What is the process of individuals reselling the tickets? Is there a process for that? What's
I don't
the
know. I don't know.
Okay.
And the thing is, they were saying that, I don't know. I'll say it's a rumor because I haven't seen anything to counter it. Is that you can't resell them for more
Than what you
than the
pay for
purchase
them?
price, and you
Hmm.
can't sell them outside of Ticketmaster.
Right.
So, say if you had like SeatGeek or SeatGuru, or any of those other places,
Uh-huh.
you
Uh-huh.
couldn't take the ticket out of
Of
Ticketmaster to
Ticketmaster,
put
you
it
got to use
on
their
there.
system, right? And I'm pretty
Right.
sure that was a what's the word?
Calculated decision.
Well, on Beyonce's part, that was probably a concession that she had to make, to say, all right, well, Ticketmaster's like, all right, well, we'll let you do all this signing up and codes and wait lists and sections and whatever the case may be, but we need to guarantee that we're going to make the money if
Right.
people decide to resell these things. If we can't let our bots, which is my theory, is Ticketmaster themselves
Have
list
Ticketmaster bots.
have Ticketmaster bots. They list the items for sale. Their own bots
They
swoop
buy
in
their own tickets.
and then resell them to SeatGeek and all these other places or their own
I
site
100% agree with that.
for astronomical numbers, which is probably why Taylor Swift and them took them to court,
Yep.
right? So Ticketmaster was like, all right, you got us. We ain't gonna do that.
Yeah.
But what you need to do is you need to make sure that nobody can sell these tickets outside of Ticketmaster. You know,
So we still get the money.
right, so we get the money if they can't resell them, because I'm pretty sure Beyonce and her team was like, no, we're not about to allow people to resell them to make a profit.
Yeah.
And Ticketmaster was like, all right, fine, but we can only
Gotta
sell
say
them
no.
on we can only resell them on our site, right? And she was like, all right, well, cool.
And let me just say, it was per ticket. After we did the total and split it out, we had over 100, I think it was like $115 in fees alone from
Dang.
Ticketmaster.
Daggone, 100
Yeah.
altogether or per ticket?
Per ticket.
Over $100 in fees per ticket.
Yep.
Dang.
Because when I
Man,
sent
it's a
the price,
racket.
when I sent the price of what we had to pay each, it's like, wait a minute, that's not the price of the ticket that we saw. It's like, that's the price of the ticket plus the services and the fees. I think it was like, it's like 100. I think it's somewhere between like 110 ish, somewhere in that range of services and fees.
So let me ask then, the process that you went through, the hoops that you had to jump through, the fees, the waiting, the angst, the anticipation, is that worth it? Was it worth it to know that you got the tickets at face value plus the fees or whatever? Did you feel like this was more of a democratic process
I do think
versus
so.
versus how Ticketmaster normally does it? Like we said, we think it's a racket, we think it's a monopoly, we think they're buying up all the tickets and reselling them at astronomical prices. What you paid for them and the process that you went through, did you think it was worth it versus trying to do it the traditional way?
I think the process was worth it, but the caveat is, had I known what I was going to go through up front, I would have liked that clarity. I would have liked somewhere to say in the FAQs, you register first, you get this, what's going to happen, because it was all just
What
kind
is
of
the
flying
process?
by the seat of your pants,
Right.
not knowing if you could register for multiple groups, not knowing if you could register for multiple pre-sales, because you could only register for one pre-sale in a group. So say I'm a Beyhive member, I'm also a
And you
verified.
Citigroup and you
And
Ticketmaster.
yeah, what if you have all three? Can I register for all three of those? No, you can only do one.
And which is unfair, but it is democratic. What I mean by
Right.
that is, because if I can do that, let's just say let's just say you were Beyhive and you were Citigroup and you were Ticketmaster, right? And let's say you knew ahead of time that you could sign up for Group A, Group B, Group C. And maybe if you knew ahead of time that you could do multiple, you could do VPN and you could do hide my email and all these tricks of the trade, right? If you know that, guess who else knows that?
The bots know it.
All the bots know ahead of
Yeah.
time. And so
Yeah.
they will go through the process of set all these things up 2 and 3 and 4 and 20 times over to where it's like the same problem.
Yeah.
With this way, it sucks that you regular people have to kind of figure this out, but at least you regular people are the only ones that can figure this out versus
Right.
having everything laid out, ironed out, ruled out. That gives people time to create and do
True.
what they do.
True.
Yeah.
And I hadn't thought about that, because if they laid out all the rules and people could make bots to circumvent those rules. So I get it. Why it was done the way it was done. I think it was definitely a more democratic way to make sure that people didn't go in and snap up all the tickets and resell them at a higher rate. But still, again, all the confusion around it was a lot.
Nobody
And
likes to be in the dark. Yeah.
right. And then it's unfortunate, that a lot of people who are like, I've been in the Beyhive for 35 years and I didn't get no code. But I'm like, it sucks, but that is the fairest way to do it. Put
Right.
everybody
Everybody
on a
gonna
level
live.
playing field. And it's just like, is your number called? And that's
Yeah.
like playing the money lottery. So
Right.
I get it, and I understand why they did it the way they did it. It just was quite traumatic. And everybody that I talk to that I know that gone through the process, people that I've met on Twitter, about it, it's just like it really is like crazy. And then the
Right.
other part is she's still adding dates.
Right.
So, but you can't pre-register for them because the registration's closed. So
Right.
it's just a thing of,
Now what?
what do I do? Do I
Mm-hmm.
just log in a Ticketmaster on a certain day?
Mm-hmm.
Because like we couldn't get the Paris tickets, but then there's a Barcelona date.
And then maybe there's Miami and there's San Francisco and there's New York and there's,
Well, so for the for the
Toronto.
for the for
Yeah.
the for the US, it's just general sale, that's when it's open. But for like some of the international ones, if you want it, it's the old for from what I can tell for the international, it's like the old way. Because
Okay.
if you click on, so I did it, I went to the website and I clicked on the Paris register link, and it took me directly to the US dates. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
wondering, had I turned on the VPN, I might try that. Turn on the
Mm-hmm.
VPN and click on the register. Well, you can't register now because all the registration's closed. But it's something to keep in mind. Like, is this going to be the standard, or is it going to
Mm-hmm.
change again? Because now that the bots know and people
Mm-hmm.
have time to like do this,
They got to switch it up
they
again.
have to switch it up.
Because I think it's interesting, because we have just dealt with the normal process.
Mm-hmm.
So at the very least, it's interesting to see somebody trying something different, and the excitement, because I'm pretty sure you were excited and
Mm-hmm.
maybe even a little prideful that you were one of the faithful few to actually score some tickets. Now, I ain't say you going on Twitter and gloating or anything like that, but I'm pretty
Right.
sure once the tickets hit the inbox and it actually your credit card was charged, I'm pretty sure, similar to iPhone, similar to sneaker games, it's a little bit of,
I
I did
posted
that.
about it. I
Yeah.
posted.
Okay.
I was
Okay.
like,
All
be
right.
I
All right.
posted on I just posted Beyonce tickets secured. Now my
Mm-hmm.
brother, who's a Beyonce super fan,
Mm-hmm.
and my cousin, they both posted stories about securing tickets and stuff too. I just typed up something because I was like,
Mm-hmm.
after going through all the trouble, I was like,
Take a break.
I'll let them do the post. And they tagged
Mm-hmm.
me in it. I didn't even repost it, but I was like, after all of the work it took to get it done, I will
Because
let y'all do the
mhm.
the gloating part.
Yeah, but there is something about having something coveted that nobody else
Yeah.
has
Or
or
very
was
few people have.
can't or couldn't get. I'm not going to. There are some people out there that were poking fun, which what the internet does.
Right.
Poking fun at people, jumping through hoops to get these Beyonce tickets, almost on the tip of, I wouldn't do anything like that. I got a mortgage to pay and I
But let
got,
their favorite artist come up,
and that's the point I was going to bring
or
up,
their
like
thing.
with the iPhone, there are people who will camp out overnight in a tent in the cold just to get a funky phone, right?
Hmm.
There are people who will camp out overnight
And
and
how much do you
fight
pay for that phone?
and fight and rob people for some sneakers. There are people, like you said, people who will, freak out and spend exorbitant amount of money to go to a concert. So it's the same. It's just that if it's something that you think is, well, I don't wear sneakers. I don't see how y'all could wear Jordans and yada yada
Y'all on
yada. But
that
yet,
sneaker app all times, and
me
y'all don't never get them. You lose every time. Yeah.
Meanwhile, the newest gaming console comes out, and buying two or three for your 5-year-old for
Yeah.
Christmas who don't even have the motor skills to work
To
the
do the
joystick.
controllers.
Right. So it's like, relax, man. Let
Yeah.
people have their time.
Don't yuck
Everybody's got to
anybody's yum. Let
right.
people have some joy in their life.
Especially if it ain't harming nobody. Right now,
Right.
one thing if your vice is some crack. Right. That's
Right.
we need you to come back to us, right? But if you just buying concert tickets or you waiting for this new game to
Whatever
come
your
out,
thing is.
right, man, and you ain't
Life is rough. Let it people
right.
have find the joy in whatever
Mhm.
it is they enjoy doing.
Yep. So, like I said, like I said, I was definitely interested in this story because, again, like I mentioned, this is something new. Rooting for the underdog, even though Beyonce,
Yeah.
they don't seem to go together. But going up against Ticketmaster, trying to call her own shots against like a Ticketmaster and a Live Nation, where they would just be like, "Nah, this is how we do things." Is interesting.
And I will say one thing I don't think I pointed out. No, I did. I think I talked about it last week where she had the Club Renaissance things in LA and they were giving away the free tickets.
Yeah, you were going trying to go.
So,
Yeah.
right. And it was like, I think her original plan was to do the tickets outside of Ticketmaster, do her own ticketing process. And
Hmm.
I think when she tried that LA, that Renaissance Club thing,
That was the
whatever,
test
I think
trial.
that was a test run and it was a spectacular fail.
Okay,
It was
got you.
bad because you had to upload an
ID.
ID
That's yeah,
to
right.
like
I remember that part.
verify who you are, and the API kept crashing because of the
Yeah.
sheer volume. And I think they probably realized at that point,
You
let's
need a
let this
whole
ticket
data center
thing
for this.
be like a future type of
Right.
endeavor because
Hmm.
right now we don't have the bandwidth for that. Let's just
Yeah.
do the best we can, get the best deal we can with Ticketmaster, Live Nation, and because I think Jay-Z owns part of Live Nation or did or something funky.
I
Anyway,
he probably had a at one point had a minority stake in it,
yeah,
possibly.
yeah. But I think
Um,
he had to let that go when he did the sports management or because he has
Probably.
yeah, something. Anyway, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's just to say that people it's interesting that the cross section of technology literally in everything that we do. And again,
Hmm.
when we talked about Apple with the crash detection innovation, when people are trying to innovate, you're undoubtedly going to have some
Yep.
failures. And then you
Uh-huh.
go back to
We're
the
the guinea
table and you try
pigs.
something new.
Uh-huh.
Right. Right.
Hmm.
And she wouldn't have known. They probably thought that that system they had was tight. It was
Right.
ready. It was good. Because why else would you put it out there? Why else would you
Right.
test it if you didn't think it? And then they
Mm,
saw that they did not have the capacity
right.
for the volume, the authentication of the IDs, the API. They was like, "Yo, let's just
we
go back
gotta
to
we
the
gotta we
master."
gotta yeah, we got to partner with
Yeah, someone
Ticketmaster and them
else who
because
has
they
this. Yeah,
right. And then like you said, down the road we'll
yeah.
fire up our own data center in Wyoming somewhere just for Beyonce
Right,
tickets.
right. Yeah, yeah.